Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. We're at part 46, I think. I'll put a note up if I'm wrong. And there's 3 days to go. You'll be watching this on Thursday. I'm actually filming it Wednesday evening, but we'll continue it tomorrow, and I'll get this one up Thursday evening so you can keep right up to date. 3 days to go, which will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday is D-Day. So let's start this episode with a walk right through the yard and right through the house just to show you where we're up to. Okay, it's just on dusk, so hopefully you can see all right. Down this lane we have stainless steel, aluminium, some air conditioners still with the gas in, aluminium, a few batteries, and aluminium. So all that can be loaded straight on the Ute trailer, I think. I'm not sure what I'm loading it on to yet, but that won't be going home. That will be going to the scraps yard pretty soon. We have some sheets of roofing on this side for the local scrappy. Some irony aluminium here, again to be loaded to go straight to the scrapyard. More steel, dryer bodies, various other bits and pieces that have come out of the sheds, again for the scrappy. He was supposed to turn up on Thursday as I'm recording this introduction. He didn't turn up, which is a bit disappointing. Hopefully he comes tomorrow. Over on this side we have a lot of clean stainless steel, a lot more clean aluminium, and there's another pile of irony aluminium over the other side. So all this will be loaded in the van or in the Ute trailer on the last few days, or the last day. Still a couple of things I have to sort out in there with regards to saucepans, but pretty well all this is organised. I made a pile of roof cappings, spouting, downpipes, threw it on Facebook for free. There's a guy coming to get that Saturday and he assures me he won't let me down. We have a little bit more firewood. I might have to call Dave back, my firewood guy, see if he wants a little bit extra. I have been burning some cardboard boxes and a bit more plywood. So we're nearly halfway up the yard and it's all organised. Now, we've been making some headway into this shed here, and there's a lot of mess in front of it that I do have to pack up and take home. I'll be getting onto that tomorrow. The other workshop shed is totally empty except for some flooring that a lady was supposed to come and get today, and she's let me down. So it's annoying when people say they're going to be there and they're not, but that actually happens a lot with Facebook, unfortunately. Just empty buckets here. A few drums of scrap and stuff here which will go home. Pretty easy to clean that up. There's some copper pipe that I'm taking home. That bench with the vise we've cleaned off, and that's going to go home. That's probably the last single heaviest item we have to move. This shed, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see in here, it is getting quite dark. We got rid of the big green cupboard that's on the trailer. That workbench is actually attached to this shed, and I think I'll leave it there. So there's only a few things to sort out there. Let's continue down the yard. There's just a table under that tarp which can go out the front for sale. There's a couple of big CRT TVs under there that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. Little bit of scrap and copper and stuff here. Nothing to worry about. I tried to give these windows away on Facebook and didn't get any takers. I might have to put them out the front for free. Now, it looks a real mess out here, but as I think Ian Matthews said, you can't make an omelette without breaking some eggs. So it does look messier before it looks better. But we had to get the shed emptied, and I've spent a fair bit of time getting that done. There's only a few things left. We'll show you those in the morning as part of this episode because it's too dark in there now. There was lots of empty cardboard boxes, so they're cleaning up pretty easily. So we're making good progress there. There's some nice chairs here that can go out the front for sale. This pile this side is all e-waste, so I'll be getting rid of that probably tomorrow morning or Friday morning. That's just a matter of running it out the road pretty quickly. Empty box, a bag of wire, I think. A bit of stock here we have to sort out. And there is a bit of rubbish I'm building up. I really don't want to do a load to the transfer station. Some of it might just stack in our carport and I'll feed it into the wheelie bin each week. I don't mind taking the recyclables out to the transfer station, but I'm really trying not to have to pay for anything to go to landfill. Some things like the old polystyrene, they actually just have to go to landfill, but I'm hoping I can fill my bin each week, and maybe the neighbours if he's agreeable. Mainly just some empty tubs here again. These two shelf units are on wheels. We'll probably use them next door at Christine's shop. My girls emptied the copper shed. They did a good job there. There are some chemicals in that back box there, and there's some over here as well that I'll have to take up to Shepparton, where they have somewhere where you can dispose of chemicals. Some of them I don't know. There's no labels on the containers. They've come out of people's sheds, and I want to do the right thing and dispose of the chemicals properly. Likewise, I think I mentioned about paint in the last episode. I have got numerous cans of old paint, and there are some transfer stations that will take that and make sure it's recycled properly. It should not go in the curbside rubbish bin. So let's have a wander through inside. It's really a bit dark out here. So to scan around the yard, it actually looks awful, but we are making pretty good progress, and I think tomorrow should see a massive change in all this clutter. Okay, inside. I haven't really done a walkthrough for a while. It's a bit messy again, but most of it's done. Coco's been dragging things around. Empty tubs. A bit of clutter on the counter there, but the kitchen's pretty well done. The bathroom was totally finished. The hallway is nice and clean. And I probably should have turned some of these lights on so we can see as we step into the inky blackness, and turn a light on. This bedroom's totally finished. A couple of spare doors that I've taken off somewhere, but they do belong to the building. So this room is lovely and clean. The tech room also is emptying out. We moved a bit of stuff to Christine's shop last night, so there's not a lot there. Probably not worth going through into the shop. Oh, let's go and have a look anyway. So there's still a lot of stuff around, and looking at the screen on the camera here, it looks like there's still a lot of work to do, but I'm actually feeling pretty confident. The shop's going to hopefully empty out pretty quickly on the weekend. I'm going to have a lot of stuff for free. We're going to move some extra stuff across into Christine's shop. The disappointing thing, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, that cabinet didn't sell. However, I do have someone else that's a little bit keen now, and hopefully they can pick it up before the weekend. That chiffonier is still supposed to be picked up tomorrow. So we'll move a few things around in here again. If I can get the backyard under control tomorrow, at least most of it, I might even try and open the shop some of Friday and spread this all out. So there we go. That's what we're up to at the moment in here. Good morning, guys. It's now Friday morning, and in the cold, hard light of day, this yard still looks terrible. But like I said, today I don't have too many interruptions. I plan on really getting some sense out of this part. As I said, it's all spread out, and a lot of it is just empty boxes, and there's stuff I have to make decisions on. Some of these bins are going to go home because they have wire in them. We have been packing up. Let's have a look in this treasure shed and see what is left. You should be able to see it now. It was a bit dark last night. Okay, it's almost got an echo. How good's that? That old dressing table, unfortunately, that's probably going to have to go on the bonfire. Steve's coming back on the weekend. You can't give these things away. It's not worth my time even trying to clean it. There's no mirror with it. The drawers are pretty worn. There's not even any hardware worth taking off. So it's a shame, and normally in different circumstances I would not burn something like that. It is only plywood. So look, it just has to go. Here's that engine I talked to you about. It's an early Cooper shearing plant engine with a nice hot water pot on the top. Look at that Lysart trademark with the Queen's head. I'm guessing that's Queen Victoria's head. It's got a really nice old brass and glass oiler on there. It's a pretty early engine. I would say it's probably 1920s. There's the old magneto. And I have the base that it mounts on. I'm not sure if I pointed that out in a previous video, but that's definitely going home, and I would love to get that one running one day. So there's going to be some interesting stuff on my channel down the track, but probably for the rest of this year it's just going to be sorting out an unboxing. I found some more bottles. There was way more bottles in this shed than I realised. There's some pretty early ones here. That's a salad oil. It's a really nice early salad oil. That would be probably 1870s. It's a little bit sandblasted. It's probably either been in a creek or maybe in the goldfields, and the glass just doesn't come out of the ground very cleanly in those situations. There's some large case gins. There's a hot sauce, another one. They're all relatively common bottles, but there's some good age to them. There are some more modern ones. I can tell by the tops. It's a screw top. It's probably 1930s. That one would be a Source. So we'll go through the bottles in more detail. And for those of you that joined my channel for my old bottle videos, I will get back to them. I will eventually. That's I think it was a Leeds Lemonade from the 1970s. Probably not really that collectible, but it is a nice green. Most bottle collectors I know would consider that way too modern, but I reckon someone would buy that. Lots of eucalyptus oil bottles in here. There are some various emulsions and medicine bottles. Some more inks. That one's known as a cotton reel ink, as opposed to the cabin inks I showed you the other day. I also found a box of penny inks, which are the little stoneware ones, but they're all packed now. So, some interesting stuff in there. I don't know what's in the box underneath. Oh, more bottles. And an old tin. And the crate underneath that, I have no idea. So what have we got in here? There's a couple of old floor polishers. They're just going to go to the e-waste. I'll cut the cords off them. More boxes over there I haven't got to. That old shelf unit's also going to go to the bonfire. So there's really not much in this shed other than some stuff to box up. Don't know what's in it. It looks like a carriage lamp. There's some old horse harness. Coco, what are you doing? I don't think we need little bits of foam all over the yard. Alright, so I think we'll call this segment finished. I better start packing up. It's not as frosty this morning. It's actually going to be another nice day. I'm going to start by cutting up some of these cardboard boxes for the recycle bin. I did borrow the neighbour's recycle bin. He's got 2 of them, so we can get as much recycled as possible. And I'll just duck around into the other shed. A guy came and picked up that flooring, which was great this morning. And we were actually chatting about how many people let you down on Facebook. Now, you can see here it's a bit lighter now. There's not much to go in here. Just a few boxes of, again, unknown treasures. And in this shed, we've got a really nice Echo now. The flooring's gone. And I'm just sorting some of these things into recyclable. A lot of people will just throw all this stuff in the skip bin. But I'm going to put these baskets out the front. Someone will grab them. Things like old tins can go in your curbside recycle bin. Also, there's lots of ice cream containers that I won't be using. They're all recyclable. These tool trays someone will use. I think these are old photographic trays. So there's a lot of stuff here that should not just go in the bin for the sake of cleaning up. I am fortunate that I have a shop in the main street and I can put a bit of stuff out on the footpath and people help themselves. But even if you're cleaning out a shed down a back street, it's amazing if you put a big free sign what people will take. Found a box of wheels. Dean and Steve were joking with me yesterday about how many wheels does one man really need. I don't know. I don't think there's a definitive answer to that. Some old tools, battery chargers. This is beautiful old timber. It would have been a box of some sort, hand-cut dovetails. So well worn, the grain looks magnificent. Most people I know would throw that on the bonfire, and even Steve looked at me funny when I said perhaps we'll keep that. I don't know, I might be able to make something out of that down the track. At least I don't want to be forced into quick decisions. A lot of stuff will go home, and maybe later on it might be discarded, but at least I can decide when I have, I'm not under pressure. Just a quick peek back in this treasure shed because I do have to have this empty today. I won't film much more during today. I've got a lot to do. But I've been finding more bottles, some glass insulators from the old telegraph lines. And I mentioned penny inks earlier. These are what they call a penny ink. They're a little stoneware bottle. As you can see from my hand, they're quite tiny. Generally, they're not marked. I believe there are some rarer ones that are stamped. They're possibly English made, they could be Australian. It's pretty hard to attribute a pottery to them. But they're cute little things. They're pre-1900, usually about 1890s. So if you find one of these on your property, they turn up everywhere. They're made in the millions. You can be assured that it's circa 1900 or a little bit earlier. So they're nice little bottles. I'll get $5 each for those. No worries at all. And another box of bottles here. This must have been my original bottle collection from many years ago. All those broken ones are what they call cod bottles with the marble in the top, and I will be doing some videos on these at some stage. And you do dig a lot of them up. That's ones from Geelong, Grigsby and McSweeney. You do dig a lot of these up in this condition because the kids of the time collected marbles, and the way to get the marble out was to smash the top off. Unfortunately, that one's from Wonthaggi. That's a long way from home, or at least in country Victoria, it's a long way from where I am. So I often, there's a Matoa one from my hometown. I have a complete one of these. I often keep the broken ones when I dig them if they're a variation to what I have, so at least I know what actually is out there and what exists. So I really shouldn't spend too much time going through this. This one looks like what they call a torpedo bottle or a pointy ender. It's actually known as a Hamilton's patent, I think. It's a Melbourne one. Top's broken off that. But yeah, they're designed not to, they don't stand up, which the idea was that they were aerated waters or fizzy drinks, and by lying them down, the cork stayed wet. And remember, the corks back in the 1800s weren't as good as what they are today. In fact, I think they're mostly plastic today. So if the cork dried out, the drink went flat. So by forcing you to lie it down, the cork stayed wet, and the drink held its fizz. So anyway, they're pre-1900 as well. So I better get back to it. I'll pack all these bottles up and wash them up another time. Still got a bit of stuff to go through. It's about, must be about 10:30. I have a guy coming about 3 this afternoon to get this shed, so I better hop to it and get it finished, and then I need to make some sense out of that yard. It's nearing the end of the day, guys. Hopefully it's still bright enough for you to see again. We've had a super effective day. We've really made some progress. All the scrap metal's gone. I might ring my firewood guy back because there's a little bit there to go. I haven't moved this pile yet, but that shed's completely empty. I managed to empty the other 2 sheds, and the guy's just been, and you can see he's dragged all the panels around here, and he's almost swept my yard for me. I have decided to take those large Sony TVs to the transfer station just as e-waste. I don't have time to deal with them. I know I should. Well, in normal times I would probably try to sell them because I think they're good quality ones, but even at least I would scrap them out. But no, they've got to go. I've got to make a few sacrifices. But look at this. The sheds are gone. The yard's really opened up. Not only have I emptied that shed in basically a day, but I've also processed most of the stuff. We've moved some next door again. I've moved a bit more home. The ute's loaded at the moment. Got rid of all the large wheelie bins which are going home, and they're all full of stuff. Those trolleys I think we might use out the front of Christine's shop. Either that or I could sell them over the weekend. I must message the lady to get this stand now that there's good access. A bit more paint that I have to dispose of responsibly. So there's some old carpet here I'm going to have to get rid of. I may have to bite my tongue, close my eyes, and do one load to the transfer station just as general landfill, because there's just going to be too much to pile up at home. If I had a bit more time I could probably process it a bit better, but most of that is actually just rubbish. Unfortunately, I really hate doing that, but I need to be practical, and I don't want to fill a carport with rubbish for the next month just purely to get it, get rid of it through wheelie bins. I got all the bottles off the top of that shed, which you've all been looking at over the last few episodes. There's some really nice bottles here, and they've got a nice purple tinge, a lot of them. It's a bit hard to see in this light, and also there's a lot of dirt still on them. A really nice lamp that's turned purple. In fact, it's hard to tell because they're in a pink crate, so that really mucks up the colour contrast. Let's carry it around here. There you go. How's that? Beautiful 1920s, maybe early Depression era lamp, in good condition, and I will have a burner for that. So I'll get much better money because it's now a nice amethyst colour. It was worth leaving up on the shed roof for about 5 years. So there's 2 boxes of those. There's also a few other bottles I found there, which will go next door. So look, we've had a fantastic day in the yard. Look at all this space. Very happy with today. Now tomorrow is Friday, then there's only Saturday and Sunday to go, and then we have Monday, which is D-Day. I'll get a bit of time in the yard tomorrow just to load up a lot of this stuff to take it home. I'm going to move those windows down to the back gate and put a big free sign on them. I do want to finish the yard pretty much tomorrow, and then over the weekend I'll be in the shop. Steve is coming for the weekend to help me with any last things, and that cabinet that did not sell, we'll have to probably move that, unfortunately. And just before we wind up this episode, there's my old shop with no signs except the top one, which is badly faded, but I forgot to ask the signwriter to take that down. I guess I can get up there with a screwdriver. And we pan across to Christine and my shop. Sundry is too numerous to mention, more than you'd expect, curios and old wares. And so ends another action-packed episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This one might have actually gone pretty long, I'm not sure yet. They say a week's a long time in politics. Well, a day's a long time in this backyard. We've done a lot today. It's really opened up. I hope to pretty well finish it tomorrow. There may be probably still a pile of e-waste that I'll take out over the weekend. There'll probably still be the firewood down the back, but I plan to get just about everything else sorted so that I can spend the weekend in the shop and just finalise everything in the building. It looks like we're going to do it, but then again, some things take longer than you expect. I've still got all the stock down that other side lane over there. There's still some stuff in the house that I need to tidy up and revert back to how it was when I moved in. So we're working at it hard. I think we're going to get there. Hope you enjoy the rest of the ride. There's not long to go now. See you in the next video. Bye for now.